Good morning once again, YouTube. This is Jamil here, and it's been 4 days since I made another video, and I apologize for waiting so long for these videos, but videos like these, in terms of countering beating decks, I have to put a lot of thought to and find other cards that people aren't really paying too much attention to, and all that other good stuff. So um, if I end up having to wait just a little longer to make a video just to make sure the quality of it is still solid, then that's what I'm gonna end up doing. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. First off, the topic of the day is going to be spirals and how to counter that matchup, sort of say, without really if you're not playing the deck. If you ain't playing the deck, you gotta beat them, and the rumors being you have to play about 15 to 16 hand traps to just keep up with them. Although that might be fine and dandy, not everybody has an $80 Ash Blossom, for one, and for two, you might not always go first, and your hand might get clogged with a bunch of that shit, and your turn might be over. So, again, I just want to start by saying Spirals ain't going to be as tier 0 as it is in the OCG. Obviously, everybody knows this. Because for one, the most obvious reason they don't have Trigate. I mean, I know they don't have some of the other things, but Trigate is what makes it like really stupid, and it makes it unbreakable by board wipes. But even if you had board wipes, the biggest problem in the deck isn't really the Firewall or the Trigate anyway. It is actually, in fact, that Spiral Sleeper. That Spiral Sleeper, equipped with the Last Resort, which will always be backed by a resort on the board, just makes it stupid hard to deal with. It's a double Trident in one card, and it's pretty beefy. And if you don't have the proper cards to deal with the sleeper, I mean, yeah, you can deal with the rest of it. You can deal with the Firewall, you can deal with the Decode. That's what you're going to be seeing. You're going to be seeing Firewall, Decode, and Sleeper at the very, very least. But that sleeper is the card to beat. The sleeper equipped with the Last Resort. The Last Resort makes it to where it can't be destroyed by battle either. So even if you baited out the sleeper, you can't just run it over. It's unkillable. See, unlike Crystal Wing, this can't actually be killed in battle. So this is truly unkillable. So you either have to banish it, bounce it, or man, tired. Or kaiju over it. Either or. So let's get started. First off, we got the obvious card, Joel and Lockbird. If you're going second, it's an amazing card. They can summon out their quick fixes, but they're not going to be able to keep searching to keep summoning quick fixes and keep netting advantage. So they're going to drain the resources rather quickly, or they'll just end their turn, which is still good for you, because that means you get to play and essentially set something up to counteract their next strategy. Next, we have Cherries. Keep in mind, guys, Double Helix is an ultra rare. I'm pretty sure everybody knows this by now, but it is not a secret rare, which means it's going to be much easier to get unless it's a short print secret or a short print ultra. And even if it is a short print ultra, it's still much better than it coming out as a stupid high secret rare. Because if it was a secret rare, it would have been easy $70 to $100, hands down. So you budget players have lucked out as well. So you guys get to play some tier 1s along with the other quote-unquote tryhard meta players. I really don't like Spirals, so I'm not going to play the deck. That's just me, though. If I don't like a deck, I'm just not going to play it. I actually want to have fun while being competitive at the same time. Even if it might cost me a few games, it's worth it. Next, we got, obviously, board wipes. The Kaiju engine in general. I feel like Slumber is better than Raigeki in a lot of instances. One, it puts damage on board. It puts monsters on the board. Two, it searches while it's in the graveyard. And you're really not going to play this with the established board anyway. If your board's already established, you're probably going to win. Raw Sphere mode, well, when Spirals start showing up, let's see, we got Trick Stars. Can swarm the field with a few monsters now. Still world chalices that can swarm. For a short time being, only world chalices were able to swarm, which made this really unfavorable to play. But now that Spyrals can really flood the board, ABCs can sometimes put up 3 monsters. I know Pendulums can do it, so Sphere Mode might actually not be that bad of an idea anymore in terms of, being a good side deck card, sort of say. Alright, Many on the Time Lord, also another good option. If and only if Firewall did not use its effect. If he already used its effect, then this is the perfect card to deal with everything they have, because it doesn't target, so Deco can't negate, and Sleeper can't blow it up because it can't be destroyed. So if you want to side a Time Lord engine, then by all means go for it. Anything to make sure Sleeper is off the board, I say go for it. The Artifact engine is another good engine to play. This is if you're going like second or something in your siding. Or let's say you don't go first, and your opponent's going the fuck off. You contribute this the Lancia from the hand. Oh wait, that's Fail Knight. Where's the Lancia? All right, there you go. If you end up drawing this in the hand, you contribute this off a little bit earlier, and you can stop the Sleeper from even hitting the field in the first place, making their board much easier to deal with, if that makes any sense. So I'm definitely going to main deck the Artifact engine for not only that reason. Sights are still really good for shutting down Spyrals as well, extra decks. But I'm also maining the Artifact engine. I'm playing more Lancias than I am Scythes. I'm only playing 2 of those, but I'm playing 3 of these because Struggling Battle is still a motherfucker. I hate this card. This card should not have been that broken. Like, it should... If you want to make a card like this, it may as well have been a spell. A quick play spell or some shit. Regardless, this card's stupid, but it is another card that can break a Spiral board in the TCG, again, because we don't have Tri-Gate Wizard, which is key, which just makes this much easier. Backsea, unlike World Chalices, they can't really deck you out, so they'll just give you half the deck, and you'll more or less run them over, kinda. If that makes any sense. We got Extranet. You side that for going second. So even though you're not going to get as many draws, for each extra deck monster that gets summoned, the opposing player gets to draw, and they go through their extra deck quite a bit. So if they decide to go full combo, you're going to get about 6, 7 to 8 draws. So that's pretty good. So that gives you a little food. It gives you a little bit of food, a little bit of fuel to either fight back or draw into a hand trap. Next, any deck that's playing Darks, you guys are probably going to want to play Mass Change 2 and Dark Law, because, banishing their shit, they do not want their shit banished at all. I might even side Different Dimension Grounds if I end up going first, but then again, I don't really need to, because Artifact Engine might just be sufficient enough for me, but I don't know. The last card I want to talk about is Gendo. Gendo, when Lynx came out, I talked about this card last year. I don't remember when, but this was back when I was playing Metal Foes. I talked about this card once before because of things like Buster, Siegfried, Crystal Wing, all that stuff that would end these really powerful boards in attack mode. And if you just randomly drop this, it's like Danko. You drop this, it can't do anything. Because it says face-up attack position monsters on the field cannot activate their effects. So no Firewall, no Sleeper, no Decode. It's like literally the perfect card to turn off established boards. And I still have my playset of these things. So, if I'm really having that much trouble encountering these boards, I am going to, in fact, start playing this again in my side deck to start turning boards off and start playing board wipes. Play board wipes, play this. This would probably be the best work the best in a pendulum deck because, you know, even though you might have to sacrifice your Joker summon, summoning this just to turn off all of that shit is pretty good. It's worth it. You can summon things like, you can summon your Pendulum Sorcerer in defense, you can summon all that other shit, you know, in defense. Then, at the last moment, you can link with this, you know, when you already have your secret weapon, i.e. Beals, to actually deal with their bullshit. You know, Beals or whatever the hell that you may see fit, or something that you actually see yourself actually playing against this, you know. So that is my food for thought. This is all I have for right now for Spyrals. Everything is subjected to change. Who knows what's really going to happen? But so far, the best cards against this deck is going to be Gendo, because everything is going to be in attack position. Everything. You turn off their entire all the resources they spent, all the time they took to make that board just went to shit when you just drop this card. If you find a way to special summon this card, then good for you. So, yeah. And if it's in defense, you can't target or destroy it at all. By card effects, at least. So they can't, even if things are turned on, well, which they probably won't, but you still can't just firewall or sleeper or pop it. Regardless, so even if they decide to switch the shit to defense, which you can't switch firewall, but they can switch sleeper. So if you by any means can't end up outing the board with this, you can just have it just sitting in defense and wall up and buy you some time. It's still, so at the most, it wrecks their shit. At the least, it buys you time. It buys you turns, especially now that the boards are going to start being flooded. There might be more Mirror Force cards being played, so that's also something to keep in mind. So, Gendo, Droll, because 0 searches at all. Granted, you can't really search this card, but it's still noteworthy card to play. And Struggling Battle, obviously, it can wreck any board if they're going second. So, let me know what you guys think about the analysis of, you know, the Spiral deck and how to kind of break them apart a little bit, or kind of just weaken their strategy just a bit. Let me know if I missed anything, or if there's anything that you guys thought of that I didn't. I would love to hear that, because we all need something to beat these Spirals. So, with that being said, guys, thank you very much for watching. This is J Money, and I'm signing out.